Alright, good morning. I'm kind of hoping everything works. I don't think my computer's reset recently, but I have been having some issues with some stuff. So, get our audio check out of the way. Reset recently. It works! I love it. Do this, do the main live, and I'm already in Satisfactory because I was listening to a video and I was waiting for it to finish up, and I powered up the game and stuff. So we're here at the main factory, but there's been some developments, and I'm not happy about them. So first off, I was going to put batteries over here. That is no longer going to happen. We still can use this to funnel in the words. Funnel in the nuclear control rods. So whichever machine down there makes them, I'm eventually going to put a belt linking up here, and that's going to be the intake. Now, this will eventually have an outtake, which will be our excess batteries. Here's where things get kind of complicated. Alright, so I'm not going to look up because one of the things I was looking at was what it takes to make nuclear pasta. And I was wondering if that was something I should make at the nuclear power plant, or if I was able to make it over here. And, well, everything on this deck is what it's going to take to make 2 nuclear pasta per minute. Every single thing on this deck. And a lot of this is new because, like, right there is the old edge. And I'm pretty sure I added that little part over there because I didn't have enough space for the particle accelerators. So, that's going to have to get wired at some point. And then I believe I built these as well. I forget exactly what these for. Oh yeah, these are for excess control rods, because I'm pretty sure those take nuclear control rods, and we're going to be sending control rods to the nuclear facility. So I mean, that's not the worst thing. I mean, that's doable, even though it kind of starts back there with some of those, and then it comes into these, and it goes in. Problem. Overclock to double. That means I'm going to need 12. Probably didn't need to move the slugs, but it's whatever. I've also been doing stuff in Elite Dangerous. Got through a bunch of planetary stuff. I found a system that had like 30 biological samples, and I was working on cataloging them all. Got the right word. The first planet I went to had 6 samples that were not cataloged, even though someone had landed on the planet. The second planet had 9, and it was again a situation of the person had landed on the planet, but on this one they actually had gotten everything. So I'm 20 jumps out from where the Daedalus archive starts, and then that's going to be like 1,300 jumps for a round trip, which not gonna be fun. And I might spend a month over in Colonia building a space station there, because I'm kind of planning on getting a couple ships out there. Just get a type, a type 8 miner, maybe a Panther Clipper, but yeah, I am planning on doing some stuff in Colonia, maybe. I've also had some issues with my thrust control today, because trying to manually land my ship, and it kept juking off to the left and the right at random times because something wasn't reading correctly from the inputs. So I think when we get out to the other base, I think everything is set up so that we should be fine. I just need to make a metric fuck ton of belts and probably some pipes. We're gonna end up using wet concrete to get rid of our excess water. That's probably the best way to go about that. And of course, in our main base, that's going to end up eating a bunch more liquid material and some gas, so that's going to be even more fun. I don't think we have any need for oils. I think we're good, but the more I've done some stuff in this, the more I've realized that when I make my final base, I might have to make it somewhere other than where I've planned, because where I've planned to make it is kind of like up here. I wanted to make it up here, and there's some stuff that I can probably get eventually, but like it's not important. I don't think I've really needed to grab any other recipes, but like, it's a thing. We will need all of those by the end. I might have to make my final factory around the Great Hole. Now, it's hard, because in order for me to make a base up here and have everything work, I would need to build just a massive... I don't even know how I'd divide it up, because, like, sure, getting a line to go across from here to the desert. This is our desert where the space elevator is, and this is not the Red Forest. What's it called? It's one of the starting areas. It's the Northwest Bamboo Forest, I think, kind of. Plains? Is it called a... Nah, I forget. Anyways, I wanted to make it up here because you've got some nice rocky formations, and this is a really tall spire, and it would be nice to make some stuff over here. little elevation changes break up the form of the factory. But then you'd have a whole line just going out there and a line going down here, and there's all this space that I would need to get material from. And then, like, there's a 45 cut through the map, which, like, okay, that would be easy to grab. What do I do about literally everything else? And I almost think having a factory just in the center along these cliffs and kind of built on top of the cliffs maybe would be the better idea. But then you've also got Chernobyl and everything. Because the station for Chernobyl comes out down here. And this is where Pripyat is. And then it kind of like loops around. It's a whole... I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do for the main base. But on that note, I'm also going to have to figure out how I want to construct like this stuff. Because this is my first game where I'm actually like playing around with, hey, I'm going to use trains and drones, and I don't know if I'm going to end up using trucks, because vehicle transportation is getting a big update in 1.2, and that is not currently out yet. But those are going to become a little bit easier to manage, and I don't know how that's going to really like work out in terms of my plans. Ah, yes. Oh, by the way, if you were paying attention earlier when I was telling you to look at all the stuff on that deck was for the nuclear pasta. Underneath that, there was a chain of about 70 refineries that were making pure copper. And those 70 refineries were all for the sake of making nuclear pasta, so that's kind of... And then up here, what did I have you making? Batteries. Yeah, this is our little battery production area. This should be about everything? Maybe? I'll figure it out. But we also have to like come down here and make sure we still have everything wired in, because I don't think we do yet. Okay, so sneezes. Okay, so this makes non-fissile uranium. We still need a thing for... Wait, do we have an input for iron plates? No. Okay, so our non-fissile uranium goes in these. Okay. Okay, so it's non-fissile and aluminum casing. So I don't need the liquid input. I do need everything else. Still working on all of this bullshit. The good news is when this fires up, this is going to be glorious. It's the getting there that's going to be... Why is there a billboard here? What did I put on this? Ah. Yeah. And I'm going to end up using belt 5s because at this point I don't particularly care about using anything less. We have a basically infinite number of outclad or aluminum plates, so I'm going to use all of these purely because I can. Cells and pressure conversion cubes into fuel rods. So that's them. I should have seen. These aren't... Okay, it's further back than I thought. Okay, that's... Yeah, over here. Found you, hiding behind the thing, you little piece of shit. Well, if it's just you, I don't really freaking care. You can be mad at me all you want. You're not going to do anything. One thing I do want to be sure of, though, is that this can actually handle the rate we're going to be making. So it's 100. We've got 6. Oh yeah, we're gonna... Okay, we got some wiggle room here. Starts here. I think that's too far. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I put it here, this. Okay, so that's the right height. Put there. Yeah. And then over here you've got, call that 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put this here. That way we can put the next one there without trying to split too many hairs. Okay, and that should work. Five. Five. 2, 3, 4, 5. There should also be a new update coming out for Skull and Bones today. They should be changing the event to bring back the neon. So that's going to be interesting, and I'm going to have to check that out later tonight, see if that has anything actually worthwhile. Because the last couple of events I haven't been too impressed with. Oh, but also, I think I was saying earlier, I'm going to have to figure out how I want to build some of the structures, the bus lines in the future. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm going to take you, and I'm going to throw you guys in because fuck it, why not? I'm going to throw you in. Just fuck it, why not? Okay, so you've got the one. Okay. Originally, I had kind of planned on this being a bit of a showy platform. You know, you have the particle accelerators right up near the nuclear stuff, and it'll be nice and shiny, and you'll get all the, you know, it'll look cool. And then you start building all of the required infrastructure, and it's like, we don't have space anymore for it to look cool. We barely have space for it to be functional. And I do want, like, the final factory to look cool. I just don't know how I want to achieve that yet either. Yoink, yoink. What else do these need? They need aluminum casing. Which I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make here, to be perfectly honest. I forget if that's something that we'd planned on. How many casing do they need? Only 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we only need 80. That's, if I already planned for that, that's very doable. It's also like you gotta go through every single machine. So on the outputs, yeah, this is going to be bringing in our rods. So this storage layout, that element settings, icon. So that is going to have the control rods, and that's actually going to be an overflow chest. I'm going to plan on having another chest wherever they're getting built, wherever they're getting implemented. And I'll have an awesome sink on the other side of that, or rather between the two chests. So there'll be an industrial one that we're drawing from. This is going to be like a holding area. The drones are going to come here, it'll drop off a bunch of fuel rods that we don't need at the other factory. Those fuel rods get dumped into here. They eventually go to the industrial one. The industrial one gets used over here. Anything that's between the industrial one and this gets sent over to the awesome sink. And then we need a space for the batteries, which means that can't really like be there. Shit. Logistics. No, we need organization. Is there enough space there for that? Yes. That, not so much. But that's fine. I can adjust that. Ooh, you know what we can do, you know what we can do, you know what we can do. What about there? Put this there. And put that there. And then I'll make 2 signs. This, that, icon, that. Layout, this. That. Ha ha. Batteries have their own. I'm fucking dumb. Well, I am going to want it to carry batteries over, so maybe not as dumb as I was about to say I was. Oh, that's not going to work. Why do you make things... I could split it below. Just have this. Is it the prettiest? Not really, but it'll work. Okay, so these. I don't think they have the crystal oscillators or the rotors. I'm not even sure I built things over here for crystal oscillators and rotors. I might have... God dang it. Okay, so that's encased uranium cells. Sulfur, quick wire. And all I really have going in is uranium and sulfur. Okay. But what we do have Okay, you got those in. Uranium fuel rods come out. I believe we built the path last time for that. The uranium fuel rods should all be getting distributed into the thing. I'm gonna have to do some investigating about the rest of the stuff. And then nuclear waste, we've got the waste lines all set up. So where does the waste come in? Water, iron plate. We don't have the things for iron plates yet. Sulfur and water makes sulfuric acid. We've got the acid pumped up. Here's the uranium waste. So we've got the uranium waste piped up. Nitric, sulfuric acid, okay. We just did non-fissile uranium, so that goes into there. Non-fissile uranium, that makes 10 encased plutonium cells. The encased plutonium all need to be getting brought over here. So yeah, I definitely don't have some of the stuff we need. Which, unless I built it above, we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see where some of this ends up going. 4, and there's 8 of those, so that makes sense, mostly. They're all pointing out this way, because I think I made a little bit of a whoops when I did that, but it's going to be fine. Okay. So let's grab the outputs from this. Again, don't particularly care for using a lesser belt. How did I miss one? Iron. Useful. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I built over here, so that there would be plenty of resources. there. That's the first accelerator, correct? Yes. We'll need to make 2 lines here at the same time. That's more than far enough for this. I'm going to end up putting a merger on that. This. So if I wanted to... if I wanted to. Here, along, yeah, that'll be fine. Did I build these too far out? God. Shkadoink. I have heard a little bit of gaming world controversy. I saw some clips from the Burnt Peanut, because I didn't know how old they were at the time, but apparently Burnt Peanut played a little bit of Sea of Thieves, and apparently it was fairly recently. I haven't watched his streams. I know who he is. He is funny. I would watch him if I had time, but between everything else, I just don't. Apparently he got, like, DDoSed or something, or people were hunting him down, which tracks with the streaming community in general, but it's kind of ridiculous that it's even a thing to really begin with. Because, like, a lot of clips have been coming out of it about, like, the Sea of Thieves community being toxic. And yes, that's accurate. But also, like, it's streaming in general. If you're a streamer, you're going to get hunted. Whether you're a big streamer or a small streamer, if you have a fan base, you are getting chased. That's kind of how it is. And I can understand people being like, oh, this game's toxic, this community's toxic, whatever. At the end of the day, it's more the nature of streaming. And I haven't really seen how he's reacted to it. I assume it's mostly been in good spirits on his behalf. But, you know, I wouldn't blame him if he's gotten annoyed. And I have been meaning to stream Sea of Thieves myself lately, but like, Sea of Thieves has gotten to the point where it's boring me. Like, I still think it is a great game, or that it was a great game. My issue with Sea of Thieves is that Flameheart's supposed to be the bad guy, right? Flameheart was the original bad guy in Sea of Thieves. And it feels like the devs have completely lost their own plot. They've got so many side stories, and they've got so much other stuff going on between, like, the Dark Brethren and allegedly Captain Hook, who might be the captain. It's... the focus is no longer on Flameheart. And Flameheart's just kind of sitting and rotting as, like, a plot device in the background, when that's not at all what he should be doing. And it's actually kind of upsetting. But the other thing that's upsetting, and I don't generally want to talk about politics on stream, but like, things recently have gotten to the point where it's dangerous, right? Like, we're in 2026, if anyone's ever listened to this in the future. Last will and testament bullshit. So, I understand kind of why people voted for Trump the first time. Why they voted for him a second time, I'll never understand, but one of the things he was going for was, like, America first, and we're not going to get involved in wars. And then we unjustly, you know, invade Venezuela, abduct their leader, bomb Iran, kill their leader. Now we're making threats against Cuba, and the only thing I can never think of is that parody World War II movie where a parodied version of, you know, the leader of the Third Reich starts dancing around singing a little piece of Italy, a little piece of France, a little piece of Spain, perchance. That general song. And it's funny, and it's also heartbreaking that that's where we've ended up. We're at a point now where it doesn't feel like we're living in America anymore. And it's also physically upsetting. You synced up with, but that's not in the right place. Okay, so we got all that hooked up. Pressure conversion cubes. But that pumps out plutonium fuel rods. And the plutonium is sinkable? Is that why I stopped there? Hang on. I need to look at a thing. Plutonium fuel rods. Retaining, crafting, optimum weighted space, usage. Can be sunk into the awesome sink. So that is definitely what we were going to do with those. That feels too far. Yep. These things are a weird dimension. I'm gonna have to spend some time. I'm not gonna have time between now and next stream doing this, but I need to spend some time, like, making a blueprint. I think I started to say this before. This feels like a familiar train of thought. But I need to make a blueprint for all the different production machines that tries to standardize a way to get them close together and keep things compact. Because, like, the way I have it set up now is kind of fine, but I need it to be more efficient so that in the future, when I get to the point of building my final factory, things go smoothly. And I don't mind that being that way. That kind of actually just helps so I can see them. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm just going. That'll be fine. Belt is too long. Glorious day. I don't think you're in the right spot. I don't think you're in the right spot. You are in the right spot. Syncing up with the stuff behind. Those are getting sunk. And then we got pressure conversion cubes, which needs to go into this. We can at least get this deck done, and I can start working on the upper floors. That'll be great. I think the upper floors all have the materials we need for everything else here. I think it's just that I couldn't fit it all down here, and I ran out of space, so I started doing stuff up there. I also want to make, like, a modular water tower for fluid buffers, but that's going to be a whole thing. Because I've got this... I'm going to open up the map again. I've got this plan for the sinkhole here. My plan was to have... You know, you've got water all up here and up here. So if I have water getting pumped in, right? If I build a giant stack of water buffers, by the time it reaches the bottom, well, I don't even need it to be a giant stack. I just need it to be, like, a stack of 5 to 10. I want to have a, like, reserve power plant under the world. Right? And I kind of want to have it set up so that it's not drawing... Well, I could probably have it draw... English word. Excess. I could have it draw excess coal so that when everything's functioning normally, I have a stack of, like, again, like 5 to 10 industrial storages of just coal under here, and then somewhere at the top of the cliff, or even if we keep... I don't know if I'm really going to keep this power plant, because this is going to be in a very obvious area. I don't really see a reason to destroy this, but I could always take over this and do it better. Like that's where we're getting a lot of our water. So I could just rebuild this at the top of the cliff, or I don't know. I could build it in the swamp, because fuck the swamp. But if I build a reserve power plant so that I have enough coal generators or enough turbo fuel generators, or like even the next stage, if I get to the point where it's like, okay, we've got a ton of excess rocket fuel, because I know rocket fuel's a thing. We don't have rocket fuel or ionized fuel yet. I could do either one of those and have those get like stocked up in giant buffers. I want to have a reserve power plant in case anything goes wrong. Right? And I've mentioned following like Kibitz before and admiring his ambition to use as much resources as he is. I don't ever intend really to have an emergency nuclear shutdown like he does. It's a good idea. It's a great idea. Don't get me wrong. If my world ever gets to that point, that's a different problem. But I want to have a reserve power plant so that if stuff goes wrong, if the nuclear power fails, I have a reserve that I can switch on when I want to jumpstart everything all over again. Like, I'm gonna have battery banks and everything, and they're going to have enough stuff to help me get started. But yeah, I want to have just backup means of getting stuff done. So where the fuck was I? We were getting our conversion cubes. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I want it to be on the seam right above my head. Yeah, because even going the other way, I'd have to go around that. So this works. Kind of, sort of. Oh, and then there's also the Subnautica 2 stuff. When Subnautica 2 comes out, definitely playing that. Don't know when the release is on that quite yet, but what they released for the base building looks amazing. And we'll probably be doing... I might end up doing more of our Subnautica stuff on Thursday, unless I really want to try and get even more of this done. Which I might. I mean, I don't really know. It's... I try to plan these out, but that really only gets me so far. Okay. So everything on the first floor that can be combined, I think, is. I might have to put a pump on that so that we can get stuff up, but I think now we start working. I don't think I need these. Did any of my things... No, because why would they take into account 8 pressure conversion cubes? I'm gonna look at some screenshots here real quick. Give me a minute. I need to figure out where they went. Got a fuck ton of Elite Dangerous screenshots I need to figure out what to do with. Here's one. Nope, that's the heat sinks. That's Tarkov. Okay, so that's 4 pressure conversion cubes. That's nothing. That's morally dangerous. Okay, so that's 4. Yeah, I think this is just. I don't think I need those. Hiya, bud. How's your face? What can I do here? Okay, I can't do anything with you. Apparently we got some room for rotors. Got no room for you. Turbo fuel, I'm already assuming we got nothing. That's got nothing for. How about you? Okay. So. I need to get everything in place. Fused modular frames. So I think these are for the pressure conversion cubes. Yeah, fused mod and radio control. If that's the case, though, I should work on the back end going forward. Because that would make things the easiest to get done, I think. So that's encased beams. This is all aluminum scrap into aluminum ingots. Aluminum ingots over there. Nope, that's quartz into silica. Here. 30 ingots. 30, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so clearly they can't all be going into here. Aluminum sheets. She's copper. Why would I have that many? Why would I have that many and not? I need to open the screenshots again. This one's the baseline stuff. Ah! There should be 3 things that make the aluminum casings. For a set of 3, make aluminum casings. Aluminum ingots. Yep. And even if there's 20, that's only 600. So we should be good still to use level 5 belts. Bitch. I am going to have to get going soon, but this is good that we're starting on the second floor now. I think something I wanted to say before when I was talking about making blueprints is I did want the level 3 blueprint maker before playing around with it too much, because the level 3 blueprint maker gives you a bit of added space. And space is nice. Okay, so I want this. I'm going to put a merger here, facing that way. We do need to get the nuclear power plant up and running before we get anything else, because we're not tapped on power. But as you can see, our max consumption is way the fuck up here. Our max production is at around 20,000 watts. Our current consumption when the factory is stagnant, give or take, is around 9.5 thousand. And just doing all of this is going to murder some shit. One, two, three, four, 5. Be pretty simple to have it just pull off the back like normal. splitter. Is there a way I can, like, line you up? Just gonna make that temporary. See if that helps. It does! Thank Christ. Yoink. It's about as close to being perfectly milled as it's going to get. There used to be a time when I cared about using as few of these as possible, and now it's just like, we have basically infinite resources. There's no point in torturing myself trying to get it all connected perfectly. Oi, what the fuck did you do? That lined up. You make silica. And you eat silica. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Okay, so we need silica for other stuff. And I think there's even more that needs silica than this. So that's going to be a whole fucking thing. But I can at least start doing some stuff that munches silica. Now, this isn't going to be, like, perfect, because the thing about Satisfactory Planner, the more items you have going to a single planned node, like if you have, let's say this one thing, like this one cluster of machines, right? If I had one production, which is like 9 of these, fueling a thing, and then I was also like, well, I also want to make more of them so that they fuel a second thing, and then I try to do that number, and I start adding like 3, 4, 5 things that feed off the same source. It kind of causes Satisfactory Planner to have a heart attack, or it used to. So I've got a bunch of like single-use icons. And it works. Issue being that I have a lot of small decimal point numbers. Like, one thing will use 1.67 of a thing, and one will end up using 1.43 of a thing, and those do not add up to be a perfect round number. And also, I need to make enough conveyors and whatnot, or not conveyors, enough power poles that all of my stuff ends up functioning normally. Give me some flight in here. Gotta get that flight coverage. Is there actual, like, space here, or did I... Yoink, yoink. That... I don't care all that much if these are a little bit jankified. Because I do not plan on coming through here too often. 2, 3, 4, 5. That goes like that. That gets yoinked upwards. Probably going to adjust it to being in line with this more than the other one. Was there anything on the first deck that required silica? Conversion cubes. I don't think this required silica. I think if it's anything, it'd be like over here. That might need silica. Iron plates, water and sulfur, rotors, crystal os. Yeah, we need some silica over here. half a second. Yeah, I wouldn't make that twice. Silica, silica. Okay, so that does take into account... Okay, so there should be 9 machines making silica, which means that we would have enough. I just need to go back up there and confirm that there are, in fact, 9 of them. And getting the silica down to the first floor is probably going to be the last thing that I do, because I'm not expecting this to be particularly easy, and I've got to get going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes! Fucker! One, two. It's doing... I don't know why it does this, right? When you do it straight, sometimes the thing, like, angles itself slightly. Is that the right positioning for it? Yes. There. Trying to figure out exactly where the spacing fits. Nope, I was one low. I need to get... Where? These machines? just inside the pale blue line, or rather on the outside of it. This time around, five will actually bring me right where I want to go. Oh, that's great. I'm an accidental genius. Except now I would have to contend with those things. So maybe not as much an accidental genius as I originally thought I was, but we can very easily change our plans. As far as I wanted it to. That, yoink that. Ah, that's for our things. Okay, that's fine. Second year, doing a few rods, electromagnetic controls. Okay, so we need that comes from there. Yeah, that should be fine. Logistics. One, two, three, four, five. You are definitely not going far enough. And we need to have a branch. Yes. I need to drop that down because that's these need to be on the second level down. That's one of the things I keep not quite remembering. Doink, doink. this. Just there. Did I make these the wrong way, you fucker? I wish there was a button to, like, flip. If a belt's not connected to anything, just flip its direction. And that is silica almost all hooked up. We just need like one final thing on the upper deck. And then that goes that way, that hooks up to those, and we're good there. And need to hook up those ones. Because I'm not quite sure I got that done. I know we were about there. The bank of refineries. Merger, right? No, splitter. And that should successfully hook up to there. And those are all going in, and that's all going in. Okay. So that's one more production. I am going to eventually need to run around and try to find all of the materials to power all of this. You know, quartz. We've already got the sulfur, so that's a bonus. We already got the uranium, that's a bonus. But I'm going to need a fuck ton of iron and copper and a deal of bauxite. So I might play around with Satisfactory Modeler over the weekend and start trying to figure out what sort of numbers I need and work from there to get, you know, a comprehensive scale of things. So we're going to save, what is it? Babylon Stream 60. And we are just short of 300 hours. So, thanks for dropping in, everyone. I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays at around 8 a.m., give or take. Today we were a little bit late, but that's kind of fine because we were still going for my usual time of about 2 hours. Thursday could be any number of things. I could do Subnautica. I might end up doing, what I'll probably end up doing is Skull and Bones, because the Neon should be back. We could do Helldivers, but I've done that a few times lately and I don't really want to do that again because it makes my computer overheat. We've got Subnautica, did I mention that? I could also go back to Supermarket Sim. We could do World of Tanks. We have options. And that's why I wish I was a full-time streamer. So if you want to see me be a full-time streamer and stream for 8+ hours a day, drop a follow, drop likes if you're on YouTube. Help me out, please. I need mental support. I'm going to head out before my brain crashes. Take care, stay safe, don't do anything stupid. And, try to be nice to people. Give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.